India versus Pakistan. Man, oh man, this isn't just cricket, is it? It's a pulsating artery of shared history, a tapestry woven with threads of fierce, undiluted competition that goes back decades. It's the echo of partition, the roar of millions upon millions, the collective synchronized gasp of two colossal nations hanging on every single delivery. When these two titans of the cricketing world walk onto that hallowed turf, believe me, it's far more than a mere game. It's a cultural spectacle, a high-octane drama played out on 22 yards of carefully prepared earth. The weight of expectation? It's colossal, almost crushing, capable of turning seasoned veterans into nervous rookies. Players instantly transform into modern-day gladiators. And the stadiums? They become seething cauldrons of raw, unadulterated human emotion. This rivalry, it defines careers, it forges legends out of ordinary men. And yes, it shatters hearts, all in the span of a single intense afternoon. And then you throw the ODI World Cup into this mix, the ultimate stage, the absolute pinnacle. Suddenly, everything is amplified like 1,000 times over. We're talking billions, yes, billions with a B tuning in across the globe, their eyes glued to their screens. The pressure, immense, doesn't even begin to cover it. It's a living, breathing entity that sits on the shoulders of every player. Every run scored feels like a victory in a larger war, every wicket taken a strategic conquest. This isn't just about national pride, though there's tons of that, trust me. It's about bragging rights for the next 4 years. It's about etching your name into the annals of cricketing folklore, a story your grandkids will tell. The stakes are astronomically high, and the world watches, captivated. For the Pakistani team, every World Cup encounter, especially against India, becomes a monumental chance to prove their mettle, to showcase their undeniable talent on the grandest stage imaginable. It's an opportunity to silence the critics, to rise above the noise, and to deliver a performance that will be remembered for generations. For India, it's a chance to assert their cricketing prowess, to continue a formidable record in World Cup clashes against their arch-rivals, and to bring joy to 1 billion expectant fans. Every single ball bowled, every shot played, every fielding effort becomes a mini-battle within the larger context of the war, charged with an undercurrent of historical significance and future implications. The tension is palpable, thick enough to slice with a knife. You see, this isn't just sport, folks, not by a long shot. It's a cultural phenomenon that transcends the boundaries of the playing field, embedding itself deep within the collective consciousness of both nations. The air crackles with an electric energy days before the match even begins. Streets empty out as people huddle around television sets in homes, shops, and community centers. Nations literally hold their breath, united in a shared experience of hope, anxiety, and fervent anticipation. This is it, the moment where heroes are made, where dreams are realized or cruelly dashed, where the narrative of a cricketing generation is written in bold, unforgettable letters. It's pure, unadulterated sporting theatre at its absolute best. Now, let's rewind to 1992, the Benson and Hedges World Cup, co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. Pakistan, led by the charismatic Imran Khan, didn't exactly burst out of the gates looking like world beaters. Their start was rough, real rough. We're talking early losses. A rained-out match that saved them by a whisker. The kind of form that makes fans wonder, are they even trying out there? Or maybe they missed their flight. Pundits were writing them off, obituaries for their campaign were being drafted, and the path to the knockout stages looked incredibly narrow, almost impossible. It was a classic underdog story, waiting for its inciting incident, a team seemingly down for the count. Then came the legendary Imran Khan, the captain, the icon, the man who oozed self-belief even when the chips were down. He gathered his team, a talented but then underperforming bunch, and famously told them to play like cornered tigers. Forget the pressure, forget the losses. Just unleash your fiercest, most primal cricketing instincts. And something clicked. A spark ignited. Suddenly, there was a new energy, a visible hunger in their eyes, a collective belief that maybe, just maybe, they could turn this whole thing around. It was less about strategy at that point, and more about an indomitable spirit, a refusal to surrender, the kind of narrative shift that sports movies are made of. In that very tournament, Pakistan faced their arch-rivals, India, at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The tension, as always, was through the roof. You could practically taste it in the air. It was a match filled with those classic India-Pakistan moments. Heated exchanges, intense stares, and that unforgettable incident involving Javed Miandad and Indian wicketkeeper Kiran Moore, with Miandad doing his famous spot jumps in mock protest. It was pure theatre, a microcosm of the larger rivalry. Now history will tell you, and it's true, India won that particular match by 43 runs. Sachin Tendulkar, a young prodigy then, played a crucial knock. Yes, India took the points that day. But here's the kicker. That loss, while undoubtedly stinging, didn't spell the end for Pakistan's World Cup aspirations. Not by a long shot. If anything, it might have been the final jolt the cornered Tigers needed. It underscored the tournament's unpredictable nature and highlighted Pakistan's burgeoning resilience. They didn't crumble, they regrouped. They began to claw their way back, match by painstaking match. A young, relatively unknown batsman named Inzamam-ul-Haq started to play with a freedom and power that stunned opponents. And the legendary Wasim Akram, the Sultan of Swing, began to weave his magic. His deliveries becoming virtually unplayable, bamboozling batsmen left, right and center. The fight was on. The journey from that point was nothing short of a cricketing miracle, a testament to their newfound fighting spirit. The semi-final pitted them against New Zealand, one of the tournament's co-hosts, and a team that had been in red-hot form, looking almost unbeatable on their home turf. The odds were stacked against Pakistan once again. Auckland's Eden Park was a fortress for the Kiwis. Pakistan found themselves chasing a challenging target of 263, a formidable ask in a high-pressure knockout game. Many thought this would be the end of their fairy tale run, the point where the dream finally met a harsh reality. The stage was set for either a heroic charge or a valiant defeat, but then stepped forward Inzamam-ul-Haq. The young man, who had shown glimpses of his destructive potential earlier, chose this colossal stage to announce his arrival to the world. He played an innings of breathtaking audacity and brute force, smashing 60 runs off just 37 balls. It was an onslaught that ripped the heart out of the New Zealand attack and completely shifted the momentum of the game. He wasn't just scoring runs, he was making a statement. Fearless, powerful, and seemingly unfazed by the magnitude of the occasion, Inzamam transformed the chase from a daunting task into a thrilling exhibition of power hitting. Suddenly, Pakistan didn't just look capable of winning, they looked invincible. That incredible knock, supported by gritty contributions from other experienced players like Javed Miandad, propelled Pakistan into the World Cup final. The scenes of celebration were wild, a mixture of disbelief and unadulterated joy. They had defied expectations, overcome adversity, and earned their shot at glory. The final awaited them at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground, the MCG, a cathedral of cricket. Their opponents, England, a formidable and experienced side, themselves desperate to lift the coveted trophy after previous final heartbreaks. The pressure was almost unbearable, a tangible force in the Melbourne air, with a sea of expectant faces and the weight of a nation's dreams resting squarely on their shoulders. England, under the astute captaincy of Graham Gooch, were no pushovers. They had a balanced team, with world-class players who knew how to perform under pressure. They had navigated their own path to the final with skill and determination. But Imran Khan's Pakistan had something intangible, that cornered tiger spirit now coursing through their veins like a potent elixir. They weren't just playing for a cup anymore. They were playing for a legacy, for a generation of fans back home who had ridden every emotional wave with them. It was more than just a cricket match. It was destiny calling, a chance to etch their names into immortality. The stage was perfectly set for an epic confrontation. The big day arrived. The 1992 World Cup final, Melbourne Cricket Ground. 100,000 people packed in. Pakistan, batting first after winning the toss, knew they had to put a competitive total on the board. Imran Khan, playing his last ODI, promoted himself up the order and alongside the ever-reliable Javed Miandad, anchored the innings. They stitched together a crucial partnership, weathering the early storm from the English bowlers. Runs came steadily, not spectacularly, but they built a platform. Derek Pringle bowled a tight spell for England. Pakistan eventually posted 249 for 6. A decent total for sure, but in a World Cup final, nerves were jangling. Was it enough to defend against a strong English batting lineup? Then, it was England's turn to chase, and Pakistan's bowlers, especially their legendary pace duo, had other ideas. The early blows were crucial, but the game truly turned, decisively and unforgettably in the middle overs, thanks to one man, Wasim Akram, the Sultan of Swing. In his second spell, with England looking to rebuild, Wasim produced two of the most iconic deliveries in World Cup history. Within the space of a single electrifying over, he dismissed Alan Lamb and Chris Lewis with balls that were simply unplayable, swinging late and with devastating effect. Boom! 2 wickets, game changer, absolute scenes at the MCG. That right there was the moment the pendulum swung decisively in Pakistan's favour. The rest, as they say, is history. England, despite a fighting effort from Neil Fairbrother, couldn't recover from Akram's double strike. The Pakistani bowlers, backed by some inspired fielding and Imran Khan's astute captaincy, kept chipping away. The final wicket fell, caught by Ramiz Raja off the bowling of Imran Khan himself, a poetic end to his illustrious career. Pakistan won by 22 runs. Imran Khan, holding aloft that magnificent crystal globe, a beaming smile on his face, surrounded by his jubilant teammates. A nation of millions erupted back home, There was joy, there were tears, there was an outpouring of emotion that words can barely describe. It was an unforgettable triumph. The cornered Tigers were champions of the world. That monumental victory in 1992 didn't magically erase the historical World Cup losses to India. That particular statistic remained a thorn. But what it did was give Pakistan its own Everest, its own indelible moment of global cricketing supremacy. It solidified their status as a cricketing powerhouse and infused a new generation of players and fans with immense pride and belief. It undoubtedly fueled the already intense rivalry with India, making every future clash carry even more weight, even more significance. That win in Melbourne was more than just a trophy. It was a legacy, a moment etched forever in the hearts of Pakistani fans and in the broader narrative of cricket. Pakistan, world champions, and nobody could ever take that away.